This is Saving History. I'm SCdigger and welcome back to the Relic Room. As promised, tonight's feature is the Relic Room Tour. But we got a couple of things before we get into that. First of all, taking a look at the mailbag, not the snail mailbag, but email. We got a great picture from Dirt Hawk. He was the winner of our 5,000 subscriber contest, and he's looking good there with his new Fisher F22 and his Fisher gear. So congratulations once again, and I appreciate everybody that participated in the contest. Let's push on to 10,000 now, and I'm sure we'll have something great to give away then. Speaking of giveaways, I've got a giveaway to do at the end of this episode tonight. So you got to stick through with me all the way to the very end to find out what we're giving away and to find out how to enter. So look for that at the end of the video. So with that said, without further ado, here is the tour of the Relic Room. Now I'm going to take the words from Jim Valvano, as he said with his ESPY Awards speech. He said that I don't have one of those little teleprompter thingies, so I'm going to talk longer than anybody else tonight. Well, I don't have a script for tonight at all. I'm going to just kind of look at stuff along with you. This episode's probably going to be longer than any other Relic Room episode that we've had. But hopefully you'll enjoy me showing some of the things that I've dug over the years and talking a little bit about those. And I'm looking forward to doing it as well. So, here's the tour. Right, so, here we are. I bet you didn't realize that I did my episode standing behind a burgundy leather sectional couch. How about that? You couldn't see that before. Over this way, we're not going. That's my TV and things like that. You don't need to see my TV. We're going over here, and this is kind of my little corner of the house where my stuff is. So, let's go ahead and we're going to go handheld with this thing here. So, as we take it off the mount, if I can figure out how to do it. Okay, there we go. All right, so we are hat straight. Yeah, looking good. All right, so let's get started here. So starting over here, I've got everybody should have a fish bowl. Now I probably have 5-gallon buckets full of brass stuff that I've dug, but I like to come in and clean out the pouch and put stuff in there. So that's just stuff that doesn't make the display cabinet, but it's a good little display. Yes, I am a Eagle Scout, so there's my little section of Boy Scout things. Alexander City, Alabama is where I grew up, and that's actually where I got my start and my love for history. Picked up my first Arrowhead in Alabama. Visited parks down that way. So let's move over here to the good stuff now. Alrighty, so there was a cabinet here. I guess you would like for me to open the doors of this thing, so let's go ahead and get involved. Alright, so as we always say, you got, when it comes to liquor, you got top shelf liquor. So that is the best stuff. So same thing here. The top shelf is reserved for some of the best stuff that I've got. So we'll take a quick spin down this is the Confederate side, the button cases. And of course up across the top here are some of my Clemson Agricultural College military buttons. But then you see we get down in here and cavalry buttons, South Carolinas, more South Carolinas, more South Carolinas, my cast CSA, there's my Confederate Staff Officers button, artillery, infantry, more infantry, there's my one-piece engineers button. It's not Confederate, but I liked it in this case. Now, this silver South Carolina right here, this is the very first, actually the first Civil War button I ever dug. And when I started relic hunting, one of my goals, one of the things that I wanted to dig was a South Carolina button, because I have 4 different great and one great grandfather that were South Carolina soldiers. And so that was my goal at the beginning of this thing, was simply just to dig a South Carolina button. And that silver one was one of the first Civil War buttons I ever dug, so I was pretty pleased with that. So you got more South Carolinas and more South Carolinas. That one saw better days. More South Carolinas. And there's my little Kings Mountain Military School button. That's one of my favorites right there. And going down, the reason this flat General Service Eagle Infantry button is in the case, on the Confederate case, is because it came out of a Confederate camp. That's only thing that we were digging were Confederate buttons, except for that Eagle button there. And going across, I got down into some more of 1812 stuff, and continuing on down through here, and yeah, there's those. So we go over to the top here, and here's kind of the Union Federal side. Lots of Eagle buttons, and that Eagle button right there was the first Federal button I dug down on the coast of South Carolina. Just absolutely beautiful. And of course, I've got lots of others up here. Lots of Eagle buttons. Some really nice gold gilded buttons there. There's my New York militia. There's my revenue cutter button. Look at the gold on those two right there. Now that's something else. Shiny like the day they came out, like the day they went in the ground. More New Yorks, a lot of New Yorks. They were everywhere. Got a lot more Eagle buttons. They've come from both South Carolina as well as up in Virginia. Nice Connecticut's there. And on down. Here's something interesting. Let me show you this. This is a slice of a railroad rail. And that came out of a hut at Stoneman Switch. Ed Weigert and his dad, Ed Sr., they dug a hut up there that they pulled out, I don't know if it was a 6 or 7 foot length of rail bar, and I don't know if the soldier was using it as a hearth or as a shelf or whatever, but I was thrilled to be able to get a slice of that as kind of in memory, I guess you could say, because it was a major rail line, major supply depot there at Stoneman Switch, and having a piece of that was great to be able to add to the collection. Something else kind of interesting here. This is hand-drawn, and I actually got some guy to do it on Fiverr. There's a website. You pay $5 and you get things done. And I just went on there and asked if there's anybody that does real hand-drawn artwork. And somebody responded, and they said, yeah, what you want? And I said, I'd like a Civil War scene. And so it's kind of, it's kind of cartoon in the way that it's drawn. But for $5, this is original art. And I love it. Absolutely love it. So you just never know where you can find something cool. We'll put that back up there. Now, my display cabinet is kind of in sections a little bit. Now, it's kind of getting a little bit packed, but you see there's kind of like the suspender buckle section. Back there are knapsack parts. Oh, here's something cool. This is my sword. Came out of a Confederate camp. There's the blade. It looked like it got caught in a machine or something, but that's pretty cool. But yeah, there's my buckles, like suspender buckles. Here's some other just militaria, as part of a bayonet throat. It's kind of the pocket knife section there. Got some ramrod holders. Now, this Massachusetts Shaco hat plate, this was given to me by a good friend, John Miles. And we hunted some great sites together, and it actually was dug up in a trench line in Virginia. And he was gracious enough to give that to me, and I cherish that. Just some other miscellaneous horse stuff, part of snaffle bits and some spurs. There's a carbon sling buckle. The lock section over here. Now, I think everybody in their lifetime has had one of these little cannon. And I bought this when I was probably 6 years old at the Horseshoe Bend National Battlefield Park there along the Tallapoosa River in Alabama. And I probably visited that park 20 times and loved it. And I was just enamored with the whole history of it. And I think it deserves a place right here amongst all my other relics. Now, that's my bad boy right there. That is, if I have to choose my find of a lifetime so far, I'm not going to say it's the ever. Hopefully, I'll top it one day. But this is my. I guess I could just talk right there. Hey, here I am. There's my 1847 Charleston Porter slave tag. And like I said, that so far, that, as you see, that takes the center piece of the display cabinet. So now let's go down a little bit. Here, just these are more eagle buttons primarily. Maybe lesser condition, a little bit of fertilizer damage there. This section right here, these are all the things that I have dug on our trips, our Coppers and Lobsters trips to New England. And so I've got a fair number of coppers. I got some great buttons. I've dug some super silver on the trip and all kind of other various colonial things there. So that is that case there. My wife had this nifty little display for something, and I said, hey, bullets look good in there. So it's a good selection of bullets, but there's plenty of other bullets over here, fired, dropped, and so on. Let's go across over here, pocket watch section. All the various pieces of pocket watches there. But this one back here, the gold one, that belonged to my grandfather. Never knew him. Passed away 2 months before I was born. And fortunately, my grandmother passed the watch down to me. And so I keep it right here with the other pocket watches. What else? There's a pair of glasses that I dug, and that kind of the key section, and there's lantern parts and tokens, all kind of cool tokens. There's the first silver coin I ever dug. First silver coin. It was a German Nazi coin. Got it out of a yard, and 1939, I think 2 Reichsmark. I think that's what it's called. So yeah, that was my first silver. And of course, since then, I've been fortunate enough to dig a lot more silver. Nice bust dime there. More coins and more coins and more coins. Indian heads, large cents, V-nickels. There's a little coin purse frame there. There's a big old pile of flat buttons from all over the place. What else? Pipes. Harmonica reed pile. Here's something cool. This is a silver mechanical pencil. Now, what's interesting about this mechanical pencil, it came off Brandy Rock Farm up on what now is known as the Wisconsin camp. And I got a really good target and dug this mechanical pencil up and was just thrilled to death when I got that. After pulling it out of the ground, I swung the coil back over the hole and had still just as good a strong a target. And under the mechanical pencil was the U.S. buckle. So the mechanical pencil and the U.S. buckle were both in the same hole. And like I said, I dug that at a DIV at Brandy Rock Farm. And Brandy Rock Farm is just an amazing place. So yeah, lots of relics in this cabinet came through digging in Virginia's up on Culpeper Farms. There's a nice Hotchkiss shell and lots of bullets from around Brandy Station. Kind of the jewelry section there. A little selection of rings and things. I don't know what those are. I've dug 2 of those little crescent-looking things, and one's got kind of a beveled edge, but I have no clue what they are. They're both, brass. Thimbles, warranted saw nuts, carved bullets. Check this one out. Look at that one. It's got a little damage to it, but that one, they were making a cross out of that one. So that's kind of one of my favorites, really. So what else we got? Let's move on down. What else we got? Kind of gets a little dark down here, but I got a lot of my DIV cases back here. shoulder belt plate, pocket knives, tools. Part of it, you know, it's kind of messed up, but it is what it is. SNY, State of New York. Buckle, more Eagle buttons. That's Coles Hill right there. More DIV finds. Another shoulder belt plate. Beauregard Farm. And look at that great stone tool. That knife that I pulled off of there as well. Again, more finds from DIVs in these cases here. This was pretty cool. Down Dallas, Georgia, we were out hunting on a spot and really hadn't found much, and then I got a good target and dug a bullet, and then dug another bullet, and then another bullet, and another bullet, and next thing you know, I had pulled all of these out of one hole. So I got to think maybe it was a cartridge box dump. They'd gotten wet, and they dumped everything right in one spot. So going through here, you know, there's some rosettes, some artillery pieces, Hotchkiss shell bases there. What else? Oh, yeah, nice bayonet running down through here. And then we get down here to the bottom. It's kind of just some miscellaneous stuff. These are some fishing lures that belonged to my dad, and sword sheath that I dug and restored, and yeah, stuff like that. So there's Stoneman switch I was talking about that the piece of rail line came from right there. Alrighty, so there's the display cabinet there. I know I kind of rushed through that just a little bit, but we got a little bit more to look at, and I know this is already going to run long. So let's take a look at what else we got going on. This is kind of the Native American section coming up over here. This is my 19th century countertop display case that somebody gave me, and I said that's perfect for my Native American stuff. So doing a quick run down through here. Kind of hard to get in because it's up against the wall, and the things slide, and obviously there's glass on the end. But if I can kind of scroll down through here, I picked up my first Arrowhead when I was 8 years old, and actually, if you can believe it or not, I know you can't see it very well. This is kind of like my special case right here, and my little special case, that little point right there was the first point I picked up when I was about 8 years old along the Tallapoosa River. The others, they're just special to me. I like the LaCroix and the Savannah Rivers and things. That's kind of like my little special box there. So we walk down through here. I have found Native American stuff all over the Southeast. Predominantly they're Alabama and South Carolina points. A lot of quartz we find up here in the upper part of the state and the lower part of the state. Most everything is chert. Now, here's the secret. There's no, so you can hear me, there's no glass in this end. So we can kind of sneak in on some stuff. I don't know if you can hear me with it down in here. Couple of celts. Love those things. Some larger stone tools. I just kind of put all my pieces of pottery in one big pot there. I know I'm not talking because I don't think you can probably hear me very well. Buried deep inside the case there. These are hammerstones. You can kind of see the indentation on the top of these. I've picked up in this area here. This little section, and I just haven't had a chance to get a case for it yet. That's why they're still sitting out. But my good buddy Indian Trace, if you haven't seen his videos, go on YouTube and search Indian Trace. And the guy is doing a tremendous job at preserving Native American history in eastern North Carolina. And he's also incredibly generous as he sent me all of these from some of his sites to add to the collection. And so these are some hammerstones that he also sent along with these points. And I'm proud to be an owner of them and to be the custodian of them. So I appreciate that. Over here, that's a video that I did about the 101 degree hunt, or was it 102? Hot hunt, smoking artifacts. All these came out of the field that my brother found his Clovis in. Now, these are not as old as Clovis, but you never know. We might have stumbled on another one. I was lucky enough to have a Best Finds in 2002 with my cast CSA, and then I was fortunate enough to have a Best Finds of 2014 with my Charleston slave tag. So that's kind of my, I guess that's kind of my awards section right here. Going across the top, there's my original Enfield musket I have here. My turkey, my brother and I killed 19 3/4 pounds. That was my first one, so proudly display it there. We know those guys, and the turkey holds on to my stealth sticker. And all the framework I have on here, this is where my slave tag made the front cover of Western Eastern Treasure. Technetics used the tag in their T2 ad, and these American Diggers, or wherever I had a find that was featured on the front cover. There's my button, my Confederate Staff Officer's button there. Of course, my slave tag is here, and the bottles, the tall bottle and the little perfume bottle, is mine too. They came out of a hut in Stoneman Switch. And I guess I neglected to turn on the light here. That might help a little bit. There's that same perfume bottle right there in the middle of the screen. Well, kind of having some trouble. But this is the bottle rack. Most all of these I have dug out of huts or trash pits. I've got inks, I've got medicines, I've got whiskeys, beer bottles, all kind of things. I really don't have a ton of bottles comparatively. I would love to find more, but I have found that finding trash pits and bottle dumps is not quite as easy. As finding relics there. So kind of the machine corner here is where I got them stacked up right now. There's some of my brewing junk down here, and there's the muscadine working its magic down there in the jar. Come on up, all of the bottles here came from New England, all in one dig. We had the chance at one of our Coppers and Lobsters trips to New England. Bill Ladd hooked us up on a trash dump, and was lucky enough to bring home a lot of great bottles. And you know what's exciting, what I like is that they are Massachusetts, Philadelphia. There's some really good looking bottles that are local that I could display proudly. And the last thing over here, this was a feature article in a little local arts magazine that they did on me. Made me sound like I knew what I was talking about. And then here's a front cover photo I had on Lost Treasure magazine of a chimney from a log cabin. So I guess that really that shows everything. Well, at least shows everything that I'm going to show. And by all means, that I know it just briefly ran over all of this stuff, but I don't want to take up any more of your time showing you this stuff. I mean, I guess we could do it for another hour or so. I know this is already running long, and it's probably going to take forever to upload. So I got to get busy and finish up this episode of the Relic Room. So I'll be right back with you in just a second. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little tour of the Relic Room tonight. As I said at the beginning of the video here, I'll let you know that we were going to have a drawing at the end of tonight's episode. And so it's time to show you what we've got to give away and how you can enter. Courtesy of Technetics Metal Detectors, we have got one of their military-style folding shovels. It's very heavy-duty. It breaks down to fit in this small bag here. Certainly it's a great tool. It's got a pick on one side and it's got the serrated shovel on the other. And to enter to win this, basically all you need to do is, number one, be a subscriber. We always cross-check to make sure the people entering our contest subscribe. So make sure you are subscribed. And then the second thing you do is choose a number between 1 and 500. That's it. Choose a number between 1 and 500 and post it in the comments below. Then using random.org next week, I will produce a number, and that number between 1 and 500 will get the Technetics folding shovel. So that is the Relic Room for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. We do have a video ready to go, a Saving History episode. Look for it to be uploaded maybe Wednesday or Thursday night. So look for that this week coming your way. So for Saving History and the Relic Room, I'm SCdigger.